We are continuing to learn about Milton Hershey, and we're on page 8, Candyman. Milton's father heard of his son's start in the candy business. Henry was always full of business ideas, so he traveled to Philadelphia to share them with Milton. Henry's advice was not good. Milton worked hard, but he did not make much money. After 6 years in business, Milton's candy shop failed. Oh no, he had another failure. Maybe this is sort of related to what we were talking about earlier, about sometimes your failures, you have to try and try again, and then you can finally have a success. Milton felt ashamed. So in 1882, he moved away to Denver, Colorado. There he got a job with a candy maker. The candy maker taught Milton how to make caramels. At that time, most caramels contained paraffin. Ooh, I don't know what paraffin is, and it's highlighted, so maybe it's in the back. Aha! Paraffin, a waxy substance used in candles, medicines, and makeup. Yet in Denver, Milton learned of a secret ingredient that made his caramels delicious. Fresh milk instead of paraffin made the candies taste wonderful. They stayed fresh longer too. Well, that's interesting, because I would think if it was made out of milk that it would actually not last as long, but apparently it did. Armed with this knowledge, Milton moved to Chicago, Illinois. Ooh, I didn't know he was ever in Chicago. He started a business there making caramel candies, but he didn't stay for long. In 1883, Milton moved to New York City, New York. During the day, he worked for a candy maker. At night, he made his own caramels. But sales were slow. In 1886, he moved back to Lancaster to start over one more time. This time, he's got a fancy mustache. I wonder if that will help. It says, despite multiple business failures, Milton refused to give up. This is what I like about this guy. He's just not giving up. Oh, it looks like things might go well, because the title of this one is Caramel King. Back in Pennsylvania, Hershey started the Lancaster Caramel Company. One day in 1887, an Englishman visited the town. He tasted some of Hershey's caramels and thought they were delicious. The man offered to introduce Hershey's caramels to people in London, England. There was just one problem. Hershey would have to produce more caramels than ever. To do this, Hershey needed to expand his factory. So he went to the bank and got a loan from Frank Brenneman. Then Hershey went to work making caramels. But when his loan came due, Hershey had not yet finished filling orders for London. In fact, he needed even more money to get the job done. Hershey wanted Brenneman to see how his loan was invested, so he invited the banker to visit the factory. Brenneman liked what he saw there and believed Hershey could be more successful, so Brenneman lent Hershey some of his own money. The money allowed Hershey to fill his orders in time. As soon as the Englishman paid him, Hershey rushed to the bank and paid off all of his debts. Debts is whenever you borrow money and then you owe it, and that's called a debt. Something that you owe is a debt. People liked Hershey's caramels, so his sales increased. By the 1890s, Hershey had finally achieved success as a candy maker. He became one of Lancaster's most important citizens. And here's a caption. It says, Hershey opened more factories as his caramel business grew. By 1900, he employed more than 1,500 people. Oh my goodness, he's doing great.